Thank you for your interest and attention for our GDPR session. Today, I have three other speakers with me. Kathleen Wallander from our CELA team, or in other words, Microsoft legal team. Nasos Kladakis, who is going to be presenting Azure Active Directory. Pragya Pandey for Azure Information Protection. And at the end, I'll come back for Cloud App Security. We have 75 minutes for this session. We will first tell you about what GDPR is. What does it mean? What is Microsoft's commitment for GDPR? And then we will tell you how Microsoft Enterprise Mobility and Security Technologies can help you in your journey to GDPR. With that, I would like to turn to Kathleen so we can get started. One note, we won't be able to take any questions during this session because we have quite a bit of content to cover, but we have a GDPR booth at Expo Hall, so feel free to visit us and we can help you with your questions. Thank you. Now, Kathleen?
Thank you. Hi, the after lunch crowd, lucky, lucky. How many of you, show of hands, know what GDPR is? Good for you. That's an impressive number. So let's talk a little bit more about what it is. General Data Protection Regulation out of the EU. Why do we care? We're sitting in the EU. We're not sitting in the EU, we're sitting in the US. We care because it touches pretty broadly, not just in the EU, but to EU residents and anyone processing data related to EU residents, no matter where you're located. This is a very broad rule. It is probably the largest, I guess, rejiggering of privacy laws around the globe in the last 20 years. So the last directive was in the 1990s and didn't go quite as far as this does in terms of giving privacy rights to individuals, reporting and compliance requirements. So it's a little different than what we've seen in the past, and probably timely, because things have changed quite a bit since the 1990s. I don't think the internet was quite as prolific. We didn't have devices in our hands. I think about my cell phone and I think, wow, you know, when I was in college, I didn't have one of these. And anybody who did was like super rich. So now here we are, where every person in the room probably has a cell phone. Raise your hand if you don't, and we'll snicker at you. Yep, figured as much, okay. So now you see why we've got this new regulation. It's been 4 years in the making and then 2 years to implementation. It goes into effect in May of 2018. How many of you are ready? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why you're here. Good for you. Moving right along. All right, we talked a little bit about why it's new and why it's different. Access to your data, that becomes a big deal. So now the GDPR gives users or individuals the right to have their data erased. I can be forgotten, and I can say to whoever's holding my data, processing it, delete it. And you've got to do that deletion in quick order. Not 6 months, not 6 years, not when I find a guy in that department who might feel like doing that. It's undue delay. Other pieces, the new privacy language, what we say when we talk to our customers and our partners about how we manage your data, where it is, where we store it. That has to be plain language now. It has to be real, something you can read. So I was joking with Demi earlier that you don't need to be an attorney to understand GDPR. It's not designed that way. It's designed so that ordinary people can adhere to the law. And a piece of that is making privacy statements less legal, not 3 pages, but maybe a paragraph, and telling people where to find their data and what they can do if they want to delete it. No longer in the world of opting out. How many of you know what opting out means in the privacy world? Yeah, a few of you know what that means. That's like tacit acceptance. How many times have you purchased something and at the very end it says, can we use your information? And there's already a box checked. Yeah. Now you have to proactively ask for permission to use someone's information and process their data. It's no longer just a tacit thing. So that's something new. Second to that is there's going to be rules around controls and breach notification. Protecting personal data requires appropriate security, encryption being one of the biggest pieces. Although encryption is not required by the law, it does get you out of a lot of hot water if you have a breach. It does also come into play as accepted forms of security for the law. Notice to authorities, that's also something that we haven't seen so much. 72 hours to give notice to the Data Protection Authority if you have a breach and you've discovered, upon discovery. And then it's also to give notice to your customers and anyone impacted without due delay, so quickly. And then there's a chain of that. Everybody's going to be screaming about the same thing. Hey, we had a breach. All those things seem new to you? A little bit, a little new to me as well. We were also talking about, why are people so scared about GDPR? It's new. It's big. The second piece is about, it's got a big fine attached to it. It's got a 4% of your global revenue. Wow, that's huge. That's big money. That could be really scary, but it won't be scary if you're prepared for it. Just like anything else, there are tiers of penalties, and according to how well you've complied along the way, we expect there'll be some leniency along the way. So your penalty will match how prepared you are for the GDPR. It is going to require some multinationals, big companies to staff up. Don't just leave it in the hands of the people you've always left it in the hands of. You're going to have to train folks to get on board with GDPR. What is it? Finding the data. Where is it? How are we storing it? Do we have policies in place? Do we have processes in place to manage that? So there will be some staffing, and I know that the legal community and our consulting community are all ramping up practices to help. So yeah, they're out there. It still doesn't mean you need an attorney to manage your GDPR program. So we talked a little bit about the stricter controls, improved data policies to provide control to data subjects and ensure lawful processing. This means you're going to have to be more robust, and those processes and controls will be auditable. So even if you don't have a data breach, even if you think, I'll take my chances, you could get audited. And think twice about what happens when you get audited. That's not a good place to be if you haven't prepared. Microsoft has made a commitment to you as our partners and our customers that we are going to be ready by May 25th, 2018. We'll be fully compliant. We're going to share our experience along the way. This is a learning journey. We're new to it too. Fortunately, we've started down that road with the original directive and have been influential along the way to help guide and shape what this rule looks like today. We need your help to support our customers. We support them with our contractual commitments, our robust security story, and our transparency on data. How many of you have been to the Microsoft Trust Center? Good. If you haven't been, take a look. Super, super helpful. There's a ton of information on GDPR in the Microsoft Trust Center. Moving layer along. So, it's time now to elevate your privacy practice. Microsoft Cloud is a great place to do that. Go look. Where are you vulnerable? Is it your email systems? Is it your data storage? Where is it? Where are those vulnerabilities? Start plugging those holes, and then start getting some guidance on how best to do that. We're going to walk through that because I think we're pretty close. So now we're going to walk into our next piece here, and Praga's going to walk you through EMS and how that supports your GDPR story. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now that Kathleen has given you an overview of the regulations and its implications, she also covered some of the recommendations that we offer in order for you to be prepared for GDPR. Let's see how Microsoft Enterprise Mobility and Security, or EMS for short, can help you in your journey to GDPR compliance. Now, we have realized that with the adoption of cloud and the transition to mobility, the environment in which your employees are working has become more complex. Employees are bringing different kinds of devices. Those devices may be managed, may not be managed. They're using different apps in order to be more productive and collaborative. And these apps may have, your IT may have visibility into these apps or may not have visibility into these apps. They're also working on sensitive data, and it may have some information related to customer data, employee PII information, intellectual property. That's really sensitive, and you need to manage and protect such information. So we'll tell you how EMS can help you protect your assets at different levels, at the levels of your user, protecting their credentials, their identities, their devices, the applications that they work on in the day-to-day business, and also the key company data that they work on, and also exchange with other business partners, customers, and employees. So this slide gives you an overview of all the technologies that we have within EMS. And it starts with Azure Active Directory. That helps you protect your users, their identities, their credentials. And we really believe that protecting your identities is the most critical step in protecting all your corporate assets and resources. With risk-based conditional access, you also have the ability to protect your assets based on a number of criteria. The location from where the users are trying to access data, the apps that they're trying to access, the devices they're using to access data, and so on and so forth. You have the option to decide based on these conditions whether you should allow access to resources, block access, or even require additional security requirements, such as multi-factor authentication or device enrollment. My colleague Nassos will talk more about conditional access when he talks about our scenario around protecting access to corporate resources. We have Microsoft Intune, which is our mobile device management and mobile application management solution that helps you make sure that only compliant and healthy devices have access to corporate resources. Azure Information Protection is the data-level security solution within EMS that helps you classify, label, and protect your sensitive information so that it's secure throughout its complete life cycle, from the time data is created, to when it's accessed, to when it's stored in different locations, and even as it's distributed with different people within and outside of your organization. We have Microsoft Cloud App Security that gives you the same level of visibility and control that you have for your on-premise apps into SaaS applications. The use of SaaS applications is at an all-time high, and it helps your employees be more collaborative and productive, but it also comes with the challenge of making sure that your corporate data always remains safe. Demi will cover in detail how Microsoft Cloud App Security can help you protect your data in SaaS applications. And last but not the least, we have Advanced Threat Analytics that helps you protect your on-premise identities and also flag any potential breaches that may happen in your network. We realize that an attacker remains in your network for a significant amount of time before actually causing damage. So they're there in your network, gathering all the information that they need to cause damage to your organization.
So in case of such potential breaches that may happen in your organization, advanced threat analytics can help you notify and take remediation action for potential breaches. So this is the on-prem version. We also announced Azure ATP today, which gives you the same visibility in cloud. Now, at the center of all these activities between users, devices, apps, and data is the key company data that may have sensitive or personal information that you need to care about. Data is traveling to more locations than ever. It's being stored and shared in different locations. It may be stored in applications that you have no control or visibility into. And really, the organizations are feeling that they are losing control of data as it moves beyond their network. To help address some of these challenges and make sure that you are prepared for your journey towards GDPR compliance, EMS can help you in these key scenarios. So we will be talking about the first scenario, where we can help you provide persistent protection to your data throughout the complete life cycle, regardless of where the data is stored, on premises or in cloud. We'll also talk about securing access and restricting access to your critical data with Azure Active Directory conditional access. We'll also show how you can make sure that the data that resides in devices, and the devices may be managed or unmanaged, with Microsoft Intune. And Demi will show you how Cloud App Security can help you gain visibility and control over data in SaaS applications. And as I just spent some time talking about, ATA, or Advanced Threat Analytics, can help you get visibility into any potential breaches that may happen in your network. So let's start with the first scenario, which is around providing persistent data, providing persistent protection to your data both on premises and in cloud. Here, I'll spend some time talking about our data level protection solution within EMS, which we call Azure Information Protection, and we'll talk how it can help you achieve different stages of GDPR compliance journey and how it can help you build that strategy for being compliant with GDPR. Oftentimes, we realize that one of the key challenges that organizations face is understanding what kind of data they have and where it resides. And that's really the first step in the journey to protect your complete data lifecycle. It's really important for you to classify data into different categories so that you can apply appropriate controls and policies. Not all data needs the same treatment, or it does not need the same protection. You may have that small percentage of data in your environment, and it may be on-premise or in cloud, that you need to really protect. It may be PII information, customer info, it may be intellectual property that you are working on. So first step is to classify and label data into different categories so that appropriate protection actions can happen. Azure Information Protection helps you classify data according to its sensitivity and then apply sensitivity labels that are persistent and are attached to data and travel with the data to make sure that your data is always protected. Now, once you have identified different types of data, you may need to protect the data that really matters to you. And for that, Azure Information Protection can help you with encryption, or you can apply watermarking or visual markings that will tell that data is sensitive and it should be protected. Now, protection is important, but you also need to understand how sensitive data is being distributed. You need that visibility so that you know that there is no unexpected activity with sensitive data. And in case of any abnormal behavior, you should have the ability to revoke access to the shared data. And Azure Information Protection helps you with that as well. Now, as I said earlier, the first step in the data protection journey is classification and labeling. Azure Information Protection provides 4 different types of classification options. You have the ability to configure policies based on which automatic classification will happen and apply sensitivity labels to data appropriately. We also have the option of recommended classification. And this is important because we believe that in order to develop that secure behavior and that data protection culture in your organization, it's really important to educate your end users on the activities that they are performing and the risks that they may expose company data to. So recommended classification helps with scanning the data that users are working on and recommending them the appropriate classification and label for that data. We have the option of manual reclassification, and this gives your users the flexibility to downgrade the sensitivity of a document or email if it has been automatically classified. And this helps in ways where the users who are in the best place to judge whether the data is sensitive or not, to downgrade the sensitivity, but at the same time when they're trying to do that, they have to log a reason or justification on why they are performing this action. And this justification is logged for future audit purposes. So you give the user the flexibility, but at the same time, you give IT insights into why a particular action around reclassification happened. And last, we have user-specified classification, where the end user has to take an action and just click on a button based on the sensitivity of the document and say whether it's confidential or public or general, and so on and so forth. Now let's see some of these capabilities in action. So here I'm working on this Word document, and it may have some confidential information. It may be information about a sensitive project, it may have some customer info, it may have some personal employee data, and I'm working on this document and I want to classify this automatically. In this case, I have Azure Information Protection plugin, which gives me these labels automatically in my Office files. Now, let's say I believe that this document should be marked as confidential. Here you will see the sensitivity by default is marked as general, and this is because my admin has a policy that says by default all the documents should be marked as general, and that can be configured according to your company needs. Here, the user believes that this document should be marked as confidential. So you will see, just by the act of clicking a button, a label was added to this document that said that this document is confidential. A watermark appeared. There was a footer that was added to this document that said sensitivity of this document is confidential. And this file is also encrypted automatically. And as Kathleen said, encryption can be a great way to help you avoid breaches. So Azure Information Protection helped you protect your sensitive information just with one user click. Now, in a lot of cases, you would want to automate this process. You don't want your users to take an extra step to click on that button. The admins can configure policies for automatic classification, and this is how the experience will look like. So let's say I'm working on this Excel file, and I add a couple of credit card numbers to this document, and I click on Save. Now you will see that this document was automatically labeled as confidential. That's because my company has a policy that says that every document that contains credit card number should be marked as confidential. And the conditions based on which you're marking documents with different sensitivity labels are completely customizable. Let's see how the admin experience looks like in configuring some of these policies. So here I am in the Azure portal, and I have the policies for my service, Azure Information Protection. When I look at the global policies, you can see that I have a bunch of policies for my organization. Out of the box, we provide some labels that we believe that most organizations can use in their scenarios. but it's completely customizable. It's up to you to define the label taxonomy according to your needs, and then the policies associated with each of these labels can also be customized. So everything that you see here, the name of the label, the color, everything can be customized, and you can create your own labels here. Now, let's look at the details of the policies associated with the confidential label. So here, when I click on confidential, you will see that I have the actions associated with this label. So I can say whether I want to encrypt the document if it is marked as confidential, and I can select the encryption template that should be used. I have the option to set visual markings, such as the header, footer, watermark. And here you will see something interesting, which is the conditions based on which this label should be added. So we, in this case, have a condition of at least one occurrence of a credit card number, but you have the flexibility to choose from a variety of different conditions that we have based on which the confidential label should be added. So you can see that we have ABA routing number, we have social security number, and so on and so forth. So this really gives you the flexibility to configure policies according to your business needs, and the automatic protection avoids that extra step of the user clicking on a button. Now, this is protecting your sensitive information. It may be documents, it may be emails. I wanted to show you something that we released in general availability today that helps you protect your sensitive information within your emails. So we've had Office 365 message encryption in the market for quite some time, but we received a lot of feedback from you on issues with usability and how the productivity was not at par with the security. So we worked on that, and we released a bunch of enhancements to Office 365 message encryption to make it super simple for you to exchange sensitive emails with both people within and outside of your organization. And the recipients of this email may use a variety of devices, email clients to access these emails. They may even use some consumer email IDs, such as Google ID, Yahoo. And if they don't have an email that is very well known, we also give them an option of one-time passcode. So whatever ID the recipient is using, we've got them covered. And I'll show you how the experience for both the sender and the recipient has become very simple. So I have an Office 365 tenant here, and I create an email which is about, let's say, a sensitive project. And I want to share it with a vendor who is helping me with this project, but I want to really protect this information and exchange this information in a secure manner. So you'll notice here that the recipient of this email has a Gmail ID. So let's say I have this email, and then you will notice that now I have this option to protect this email. So I just click on protect, and just by the act of clicking, you will see that there's a policy that appears here that says, do not forward. Recipients can read this message, but they can't forward, print, or copy content. This is great. Now the senders do not have to go through the act of selecting the right template, looking for different options, and they can even share information with recipients' Gmail IDs. Let's hit send, and let's see what the recipient's experience is. So here I have information from this Office 365 user, and I try to access it in Google. So here you will see that I have the Office 365 banner here, but you have the ability to completely customize it based on your organization. And you can also customize the message that you have there for Gmail IDs. So here it opens up, and it asks me to sign in with my Google ID. So I try to sign in, and there it is. That's all the Gmail user had to do. You will see that the do not forward policy is applied, and if the Gmail user tries to forward or print, the option is unavailable. We will be showing more about different options that you have for different types of recipients in the deep dive Azure Information Protection sessions, but this is just a sneak peek into what we have been doing with respect to Office 365 message encryption, and that can really help you protect your sensitive information. Okay, about one. All right. So that concludes the first. I showed you these in the demo. And now I would like to invite my colleague Nassos, who will talk more about the second scenario, which is about securing access to your most important company resources. Nassos.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you and welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know that most of you said that you know what GDPR is, and I know also that Kathleen explained to you what GDPR is, but I will let you know now what really GDPR is. Okay, are you ready? I will tell you the truth about GDPR. So GDPR, come on, I wouldn't even dare to tell you what GDPR is. I'm not sure even that I know everything about it, okay? But I know and understand one thing, that GDPR really requires from you to protect your data. It's one of the requirements, right? And I cannot imagine how you could do that, how you could protect your data if you are not able to protect them at the front door, the moment that someone tries to log in and access this data. So with the identity and access management capabilities of Azure Active Directory in enterprise mobility and security, we do exactly that. We help you protect access to all the sensitive data that you have in the cloud, on premises, or stored, let's say, in a USB in your pocket. So you will see how Azure Active Directory can do that. But in order to do that, let me first explain what Azure Active Directory is and why, if you have that, it will be easier for you to be compliant with GDPR. Why that can help you in your GDPR journey. So Azure Active Directory is definitely more than just a directory service in the cloud. It's an identity and access management solution. And it works like that. When you have it at the first time, if you are a hybrid company, that means that you already have users and infrastructure on premises, Azure Active Directory allows you to connect these on-premises identities, these on-premises assets to Azure Active Directory. The moment you will do that, your existing users, your existing identities will be able to access resources all over the place in any cloud, Azure, Amazon, Google, Box, Salesforce, whatever. You will be able to access all the resources with one identity, which is really great for users. But the benefit for you here is that if your users are using just one single identity through one system, Azure Active Directory, to access all their resources, you can control this access even better. Make sense? So for them, it's easy. Single sign-on. They go to one place. They have to remember only one password. So from Twitter to Gmail, from Office 365 to Box, they have to remember just one password. Easy for them. For you, you make them come through a really guarded place, through a really narrow road that you guard really well, which is Azure Active Directory, and you can apply all types of security on that path. You can protect and you can monitor, you can get reports from what they do in all kinds of applications. So this is why Azure Active Directory is important for GDPR. This is why it helps you to the journey to GDPR. You will be able to protect access at the front door. But also, we don't just protect access to cloud applications. Azure Active Directory is able to protect and provide access, obviously, to on-premises applications for mobile users. So when your users are traveling, they're mobile or they're using their personal devices, you can use Azure Active Directory to give them access to on-premises applications. So again, you remember the same path. You make them come from a specific path, from a specific road. They will follow this road because it's easier for them. And if they do so, you can protect them better. You can put all your controls in this narrow path that your users will come in. And based on my understanding for GDPR, it's not just about your enterprise users. It's also, and even more, for your partners and your customers, your own customers. So with GDPR, you need to protect access to your data for your employees, of course, but also your customers and your partners. And Azure Active Directory can do that. Can be the identity and access management solution for your employees, for your partners, and your customers. So I hope that with that, we are all in agreement that Azure Active Directory is the first step you need to do in order to secure access to resources, and as a result, to start your journey with GDPR. If you don't start with that, you need to find another way to manage access, but let me tell you that, or good luck with that, if you have random places and let users randomly access applications from all over the place. Of course, that goes the other way around. If you don't have that, conditional access, all the security capabilities of Azure AD are useless. Meaning that we don't have conditional access or protection if you don't apply this rule. If Azure Active Directory is not the core access management solution for your systems, for your employees, partners, and the customers. So let me start with something that we are really proud of, something that we think that enterprise mobility and security does in a unique way, and that helps you secure access to your resources even better than any other system. We have all kinds of, let's say, normal controls that someone would expect. We can protect you based on location, based on device, based on static rules. But what we do really well, and what we do actually exceptionally, and probably we are the only ones that we can do it in such magnitude, is the ability that Microsoft have at this moment to gather signals from all the services we have all over the world, the cloud services, from our partners, from academia, from security analysts, from law enforcement agencies that work with us. And we gather signals about the behavior of users all over the world. All these users, all these signals are coming in to our Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph. And with machine learning, artificial intelligence, we analyze this data, and we do one thing. We calculate the risk for every one of your users, and every sign-in this user does against your systems. So this Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph, that Microsoft is in a unique position because of the magnitude and the presence we have all over the world, and the partner network that we have and we work with. Through this security graph, we have data for all the bad people out there, or the good people that have been bad for a while. And we make this information available to you through Azure Active Directory, through our conditional access engine. So now you are able to protect your access to data and applications based on more than just a set of static rules, based on risk. Let's see how this thing happens. We do that through conditional access. So we gather all this data that we discussed, and this data are coming around to 10 terabytes data every day. So all these signals are coming down to 10 terabyte data, although 10 terabytes is not down, I guess. And along with other things that we have, like we know the users of your organization, the devices they use, we know the applications they want to access, or the location they're coming in. So the 10 terabyte data of the signals I said, and all the static rules we have are applied and analyzed, and based on that, we are able to calculate, as I said, the risk of the user and every session that the user is in. And based on his behavior or on facts that we found somewhere else, for example, if we find one of the credentials of your users in one of the reports of the leaked credentials out there, we don't need to know anything else. If his credentials are leaked, most probably this user is in high risk, although he's not doing anything at the moment. And at the same time, a perfectly normal user, if he tries to access his applications from 2 different locations at the same time, or from a possibly infected device, then again, although the user is a fine user, right now, for this specific sign-in, his risk might be medium or high. So based on all these things, we have a policy, you have the policies that you want on applications and data, as I will show you in the demo. And based on all these conditions, we apply some actions, some controls. These actions is either you are good to go and access the data, or we can block access if we are really sure that these guys shouldn't see the specific data. Or we can do something milder. For example, okay, most probably it's you, but I will challenge you with multi-factor authentication to make sure, absolutely sure that it's you. Or I will let you in, but I will limit what you can do in the application. The same way that Priya showed us before, that when you send a protected email, the user can read it but don't download it. But imagine that happening automatically in real time based on rules. So if your risk score is medium or high, then I will limit your access, not all the time. If I'm sure that you are a normal user from a normal PC and everything is safe, I will give you full access. This is the power of conditional access. You don't have to protect something for everyone in the hardest possible way. You can add conditions and act on these conditions. Now, something that is also really important on your journey to GDPR, on your journey to protect access to resources, is privileged identity management. What bad people out there really want, and what everyone wants, is administrative access. When someone is trying to hijack a specific set of credentials, their real goal is to, at some point, to elevate the level of access that these credentials have and make them administrative credentials. So it's super important to provide a solution that can protect privileged identities in a better way. And this can be done with Azure Active Directory. We can protect the privileged accounts even better with privileged identity management. So what we really do is that we can provide, of course, monitoring of all the administrators, so we know who they are in your system, which is not always easy, right? You don't know at every time how many and which users are administrators, okay? So first you can see which users are administrators and on what. The other thing is you can monitor what they do, and finally, you can force just-in-time administration to them. That means that you see your administrators, and you decide that most of them don't use to be administrators all the time. So now, with privileged identity management, a normal user can be a global administrator or any kind of administrator for a while, and then automatically he will go back to his normal life with privileged identity management, so he doesn't have to be admin all the time. And if someone really gets his credentials by accident, most probably they will be useless to him, because it's impossible to elevate your privileges from normal to administrative without multi-factor authentication, for example. Now, in parallel, and while you are protecting access to resources at the front door with Azure Active Directory and conditional access, for your employees, or for those users you can manage their applications, we have in enterprise mobility and security one more solution. And this solution is Intune, our mobile device management and mobile application management system. A system like that can do many things. But again, if I want to just focus on protection and on your journey to GDPR, with a solution like Intune, you can do 4 things. First of all, you can be sure that your device is in a secure state. Let's say enforce PIN, shut the camera, or whatever you want, or avoid, protect your users from having jailbreaking devices. And then you can have remote actions. You can enforce security policies in these devices whenever you see fit. For example, you can decide to delete all the business data from their device if you need to. The third thing that Intune can do is data control. And that means the way that that your users can access data that are in their device can be controlled. So if you manage the device, you manage what users can do with data in this device. You can protect them from download them locally. you can protect them from copy and paste between systems. And that brings us to the fourth pillar, to the fourth thing that an MDM system can do, that Intune can do, which is the ability to separate personal from business in the same device. They can use, let's say, Office 365 apps to read business documents. But if they try to copy and paste this data to a personal notepad or to a personal account, that can be avoided, that can be protected if you are using the mobile application management and the mobile device management of Intune. And with that, I would like to show you a demo of most of these capabilities. I will show you something that will be shown for the first time in this audience. So you are lucky you will see for the first time one of the conditional access demos. Exciting, right? I was sure. Let's see if I have the right device. Great. So I will show you the end user experience of some of the standard things we have, but also I will show you some brand new things that I believe will help you in your journey for GDPR. So let me start with a brand new thing. You haven't seen that yet. We will show it. Actually, we will show it in a session after this one. And tomorrow morning in my session, we will show all these things, plus all the other new stuff that Azure Active Directory has. So let me start with that. With Azure Active Directory conditional access, as we said, you can enforce based on conditions a set of controls. As we said, block, deny access, limit access, or enforce MFA. But you can do something else. Let's do that. I am a user, and for some reason, I can be a business guest, I can be a normal user, but for any reason, you can enforce a condition on a specific application or in all application that before accessing this application, I will see this. What is this? This is a control, people. I mean, it's a conditional access control. It's simple. It's terms of use, right? The thing that you all the time see, but you never read. You remember? For example, no, that's not a touch screen, sorry. This is a touch screen. So you see, I can enforce with conditional access policy, not by default, not in any case, not for any user, but just for the users that are needed to see this set of these terms of use with conditional access. You see, one more control that we didn't have until now. This is fully customizable, of course. You can change it, you can put your brand, and if the user is not accepting that, no access to the data. I will accept. And I will tell you one more cool thing that terms of use condition can do, but you have to use it responsibly, okay? So let's imagine that today is the day that GDPR needs to go, right? And if today is the day, our legal team, your legal team says, and because this is the day, everyone needs to read something specific today, for sure. No one can avoid that. Terms of use conditional access give you the ability to set a rule that will block access to everyone right away. You apply that rule, and everyone is losing access to what they do. They cannot access, even admins will see that something is wrong. We don't shut them out, but they will see that they cannot do something else than the thing that is in front of them. And when they are forced, then they will be forced to log in again, and when they log in again, they will see that terms of use. Make sense? So terms of use is a control, a new control that we are announcing today in conditional access. And that new control can be used targeted to specific users, to specific applications, to guests, to users that are under 18 or whatever, but can be also applied or whenever you want to every user instantly, and that will make them all lose access, and when they log in again, they will be forced to accept the rules. There are many different ways of using that. Imagine, of course, GDPR, but also it can be training, read that before you access this application, and stuff like that. So I believe this is a pretty cool new control. And then, thank you. I needed that, because, come on, people, I mean, I'm giving you something brand new, no one else has seen it, and nothing, right? Come on. The next, I am expecting more in the next, okay? So let's see now other controls. normal controls this time, not that exciting. You have seen that before. So blocking access to an application because of device. So because I don't like the device or the browser, I will block access to specific application. I can do that targeted. That's something we have. The message is amazing. It says you cannot get there from here, meaning this device. Use another device, make this device compliant, and you will be fine. And as you can see, we don't let the user like that to wander. We say, if you bring this device under compliance by doing this, then we will let you see this document. Conditional access based on device. Another rule that we have, again, you have seen that before most probably, but it's really related to protecting access, is let's say I have a sensitive on-premise application. Another rule protects access to this application because of the location this time. This location is not considered secure for my organization and for me personally to access this sensitive on-premise application. Remember, all these rules are conditional. Depends on the user, on the device, on the location, on the application, and on the risk score that every time I have. And finally, let's see something else, also brand new, and I'm expecting, okay, applause after that, of course. I'm letting you know from now. After that, I said. Some people don't get it. That's why GDPR is so difficult to be understood. So simple, guys. So, okay, I see here my email, and I have a document, let's say. This document is sensitive. This document is protected by Praya's Azure Information Protection. Good. However, it's my document, right? I am allowed to read it. It's not someone else's document. So I'm downloading that document because it's protected and there's no preview for that document, so it cannot work. So let me open it. I'm opening the Word on this device, and because this device is personal, it's not a corporate device, it doesn't know me, right? So it's the first time I was using the web browser, and Word says, who are you, man? This is a protected document. Who are you? Okay. And imagine that can happen in any document, if I had it in a USB disk, if it's protected by Azure Information Protection. So I am this user. And I'm using my password. And look at that, people. Now, although the document is mine, although the document is a device I own, it requires MFA because it didn't trust the location or the risk or whatever. My authenticator asked me to approve this access, and as a second factor, I just proved that it's me. So we present to you now the ability to add conditional access, in our case, MFA enforcement, to any document, no matter from which application it comes. So Azure Information Protection and conditional access integration give you this ability. Now you can clap. Yeah. Thank you. And you will see now, I mean, you will have to believe me, that this was a protected document that I have full access. So if I go here and I see my permissions, you see, I have full access in this document. So it's normally, Azure Information Protection will let me go. But because something was really weird about me right now, my device, my location, my risk, whatever, the system, conditional access, decided to ask me for second factor. And I did it with my Microsoft Authenticator. And with that, I will show you something just for conditional access, for privileged identity management, which is brand new again, and we announced it for the first time at this session and at this event. We are announcing two things on privileged identity management and similar features. First of all, we extend privileged identity management to Azure. Right now, it was only for Azure Active Directory admins. Now, you can manage Azure administrators with privileged identity management. And as I said, that wasn't that great, okay? It was? Okay, I will take it then. Thank you. So let's say for privileged identity management, for either Azure Active Directory roles or admin roles, as you can see, I can monitor how many administrators I have. I can see what they do, and I could go on a specific role let's say, let me see my administrators, and you can see that I can tell who is a permanent administrator and who is eligible. Eligible means he's a normal user that he can elevate his privileges when needed. And the other component is access reviews. Actually, I will show you that from the end user experience again. So either via email or through my access panel, my screen that I use to access all the applications, I have the ability to see my access reviews. What are access reviews? Which is really significant to protect access to resources. Every month, or wherever a user wants or an admin wants, you can send to your users a question if they still need access to an application, or to someone, their manager or their administrator, to check if they really need access to this application. So for example, let's see the first one. The first review says, hey, Aphrodite, as an administrator or as a manager, check these guys. Do they really need access to this application? And if you say no, their access will be revoked automatically. And also, at the same way, I have another access review that came to me personally. You will see the difference. This one is sent to me. It says, hey, Aphrodite, do you really need access to Salesforce? Can you check? And if not, let us know so we will cut you out so only the users that need to be in this application will be there. Okay? And with that, I will give the floor to Demi. Thank you.
Thank you, Nassos. That was great. So another key scenario that we need to consider in our GDPR compliance journey is gaining visibility and control of data in cloud applications. We hear this from you a lot. This is a huge concern, as well as an opportunity. As Pragya mentioned, SaaS applications, the use of SaaS applications are increasing. When we talk to you, we realize that there's an exponential increase in the number of applications you approve, and also your employees use without your consent. More than 80% of the employees admit using non-approved SaaS applications for work. Well, they don't do this necessarily to be malicious, as you know. They just want to be more productive. They want to get things done. Just like all of us here, we're still checking emails. As we are traveling, we want to make sure we are keeping up to date. Now, the idea is not to block these applications because they give great collaboration, great productivity. It's easier for you from a hardware standpoint, capital investment standpoint. They're always up to date. The idea is not to block them. The idea is to provide a solution to gain visibility into the data in cloud applications and also start to control them, start to protect this data from cybersecurity attacks. Of course, you're probably familiar with cloud access security broker solutions, right? CASB. Microsoft has one. It is called Microsoft Cloud App Security. We released into market last year. It's based on our acquisition of Atalone. It provides you that deep visibility by discovering applications in your environment. It helps you to set policies so you can start controlling the data for data loss prevention, for sharing. And Nassos showed you conditional access capabilities. We also extend these capabilities to cloud applications, not only by allowing access or denying access. This week we are announcing that we are providing that limit access option for cloud applications. For instance, if I'm a user coming from an unfamiliar location or an unmanaged device, I may not be able to download that sensitive document from cloud application, from Salesforce, from Box. I can still access, but I can't download the sensitive document because my admin is not trusting the conditions that I'm coming from. And finally, we protect the data in these applications from threats by using Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph, behavioral analytics, and anomaly detection capabilities. Let's look into discovery. I'll show you in the portal, just to give you an idea about what we are providing here. We discover more than 15,000 cloud applications in your environment. Our research team has already done the analysis. We went and looked for these applications, so you don't have to. We get this information from your firewalls and from your proxies, so you don't need any agents or applications in user devices. We tried this before. We know it's not really practical. Second, which is more important, we provide you a risk assessment score for these cloud applications. And I'll show you in the portal how this works. We also provide you ongoing analytics. If a user is uploading and downloading terabytes of data within a couple transactions, that may be indication of a breach. We also get that information to you. When we're providing all of this insights, we also help you to protect your employees' privacy. We have a feature called log anonymization. What does it do? It helps you to protect your users' privacy. So rather than seeing your users' credentials in the portal, you see an anonymized text if you check the box for log anonymization. Once you sanction the application to Cloud App Security, either through API deployment or proxy deployment, which we're announcing this week, that is going to be available in October, you will be able to gain detailed visibility into every single activity that your users have with these cloud applications, to the detail of what type of browser that they're using, whether they have failed login attempts, or whether we push them to proxy and started to control the session. The second step is information protection. I want to make sure that I can start controlling the data in these applications just like I do with my on-premises DLP systems, right? We integrate with them, by the way. We not only integrate with Azure Information Protection, but we also integrate with on-premises DLP systems. Just like you do on-premises, for cloud applications, we start to protect the data in them by using granular policies. We have out-of-the-box policies you can use, or you can create and customize your own. And these help you with data loss prevention, with data sharing. Once you set these policies, now you can take enforcement action. For instance, you can put a file into quarantine, or you can protect a file right away. You can apply encryption to it, either manually or automatically. You can also revoke access to third-party applications. Parag explained to you in detail Azure Information Protection. Cloud App Security integrates with Azure Information Protection natively. This is important for us because we know that you have so many different security solutions. And our intention is to work together within EMS to make sure that our solutions natively integrated with each other. And we gain quite a bit of mileage in this, and you can see the fruits of this between Cloud App Security and Azure Information Protection. Parag will show you the AIP labels. Cloud App Security can read them. You can set policies with them. If an internal file that's not encrypted that goes to a public URL, you can go ahead and take that link down. Another important thing that we are again announcing this week is the ability to automatically label files with Azure Information Protection. What does this mean? If a user puts a very sensitive file, which has important information in it, to a cloud application, and this user doesn't protect this file, Cloud App Security can go ahead, scan the file, find the sensitive information, classify it, and through policy, apply Azure Information Protection labels automatically. And those labels include, as Parag explained earlier, encryption, visual markings, use rights. All of this could be done automatically. That gives you great control to the data in these SaaS applications. Let's take a look at the demo to see how this works. All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. There we go. Here I am in the Cloud App Security Discovery dashboard. Let's increase the resolution here so we can see better. I can see all the different type of applications in my environment, and if I click on the source here, you can see I have a bunch of firewalls and proxies. You can see Cloud App Security Proxy here, which is going to be available in October. I can see all the applications. I have more than 2,000 users, more than 2,500 IP addresses. I can see by app category how much traffic is going to unsanctioned and sanctioned applications, as well as for discovered applications. Here, I don't use the log anonymization. If I did, I will be able to see a log anonymized text here instead of top users. I can also see risk levels, and based on risk levels, how much traffic is going into those risky applications. Now, this is great information. Most of the time, if you go to a CASB provider, they will give this analysis to you for free, just for once. You can do this automatically. But the most important thing here is the discovered applications and the risk assessment. We already went and did the analysis for 15,000 cloud applications, and we associated risk scores for them, so you don't have to. I will click on Office 365, but you see we are not only protecting Microsoft cloud applications. This is a cross-SaaS solution. I click on Office 365, and I see a beautiful 10 score over 10. It's green. It means that it is not a risky application. It's actually on the contrary. Here you can see 60 different factors that we have rated Office 365 against. There's a category called General. There's a category for security. You have seen us doing multi-factor authentication. Does this app support MFA? Well, we already tested that. I mean, they also tell you what is the weight of this factor within the all-up score calculation. We also have compliance. We check whether this application complies with SOC, with HIPAA. Well, you're going to say, well, we're in a GDPR session. What about GDPR? Well, we are doing some work here. By May 25th, in 2018, you will see that for all of these applications here, we are going to provide you a link, just like here, for the GDPR readiness statement of that organization. So if I click on this link, I'll be able to come to Microsoft's page, which says, Microsoft is committing to be GDPR compliant by this date. I will say, well, you did this for a Microsoft application. What about the other ones? Let's click on Cisco. We did the same thing for Cisco, GDPR readiness statement. Obviously, before this compliance comes into effect, we won't be able to have a way to say that whether these applications are compliant or not. But we provide you that public statement from that company about their GDPR readiness, so you don't have to. This gives me great insight. So based on this now, I can make a decision whether I want to sanction this application or whether I want to block it from use. If my employees start using it, then I will get an alert, and I can take remediation action. Once I sanction the application, I can see detailed transactions. You can see all the file transactions within the cloud applications that I have sanctioned in my environment. This gives me great visibility. And also, I can set policies. We talked about policies. Either you can use out-of-the-box policies, or you can customize and create your own. I'll show you two of the policies, which is news this week, that we added to our portal. So you see two policies here: block download of classified files, protect download of unclassified files. The first one is the integration of conditional access that Nasos has showed to you with Cloud App Security Proxy. Let's take a look at this policy. Let's come back and go into the settings so I can see the detail of the filters and all the different settings I have for this one. It will take a second here. So you see that I have created a policy where if the user is Sylvia, and if she's coming from a device that is not compliant, if this is a device that's not managed, and if the file that she's trying to download is classified as confidential, I can go ahead and block the download. The difference here is she was able to access the application. She just can't download the file. If this was not a sensitive file, she will be able to download it. But I will not let her download a confidential file to an unmanaged device. The other one here is through our integration with Azure Information Protection, the ability to apply labels. If one of my users uploads a sensitive document without classifying it to a cloud application, I can go ahead and encrypt it in the cloud, so I can go ahead and protect it. Here you can see the same thing. I have a device that is unmanaged for files with no classification labels or not confidential or not set as confidential. You see I have options for allow, block, and now I have something for protection. Now I can go ahead, and now I can apply Azure Information Protection Classification label. That includes the encryption. I'm automatically encrypting the files, even when my users make mistakes. All right, let's come back to the presentation here. The last scenario. We always want to protect you. Protection is our first goal. We want to make sure that you don't have data loss. We want to make sure that we protect you at the front door. But in this new cybersecurity attack landscape, we want to make sure that we also have detection technologies. I'm quite sure you have heard of it already. We're in the same environment with you. Microsoft is an interesting target, and we get attacks all the time. And as Nassos explained, we use that intelligent security graph to detect attacks in our environment. We also do machine learning. We also look for users' behavior. What we see with the recent attacks, as you know, in the last few years, the majority of them starts with an identity breach, lost, weak, or compromised user credentials. An attacker hiding under the identity of an innocent user. Now, how can we detect that? I'm quite sure by this time most of you are familiar with behavioral analytics. In addition to all that intelligence that we get from all of these different signals, from all of the different products that we have, we also constantly run a very sophisticated cluster analysis. We look for a user's behavior on a normal day, so we can identify anomalies. For example, you're here now in Orlando. If somebody else is fueling their car in Brazil with your credit card company will give you a call and say, hey, there's an anomaly here. Sometimes they block it even before they ask, which I hate, but you get the idea. It's behavioral analytics. It's basic fraud detection, actually, what they're doing. What we use for our technologies is way more sophisticated. We use advanced graph technology to understand the user's behavior on a normal day. We even look for working hours. How many hours this user normally works? So suddenly this user is starting to put in 23 hours. That's an anomaly. If they're using new devices that they haven't brought into the network, or if they're accessing new domain controllers that we haven't seen. You may have been familiar with Advanced Threat Analytics. This product has been in the market for a while. This is an on-premises solution, which today we announced actually the cloud version. Parag explained it as well, Azure Advanced Threat Protection. This technology uses sophisticated algorithms to identify normal and abnormal behavior. So you can shorten the attack kill chain. You can identify attackers before they reach that critical privileged identity and have got rights to the network. We also look for known malicious attacks. Pass the hash, pass the ticket, golden ticket. All of these varieties of different malicious attacks, we can detect them in our environment. Our research team constantly goes and checks these attacks and builds algorithms to detect them. Pass the hash, as simple as it is, unfortunately, still a lot of attacks are traced back to it. We can detect all of that once you install Advanced Threat Analytics. We also look for known security issues in your environment. If we have attackers in our systems, we want to make sure that we protect ourselves. We don't want to leave any vulnerabilities. For instance, if you have weak protocols or broken trust, or if you have an issue of clear text passwords, we can catch all of that through Advanced Threat Analytics. We have the same capabilities also in Cloud App Security. Behavioral Analytics is built into Azure AD, to Cloud App Security, to Advanced Threat Analytics, to Azure HTTP, to Azure Security Center. We really believe in this, and all of our technologies does this sophisticated cluster analysis. In Cloud App Security, you've seen that you can do advanced investigation. And all of these solutions are leveraging Microsoft Intelligent Security Graph. That brings me to the end of our presentation. We are right on time. As Kathleen mentioned earlier, I strongly suggest to go to Microsoft.com/GDPR. That's our Trust Center page. And we have so much information in there, including a security assessment. We strongly suggest you to take. It's free. You can answer some of the questions about your IT environment, and you'll be able to get some suggestions. We also have an EMS website, and we also have a GDPR white paper there. We strongly suggest you to read. It's actually Microsoft.com/EMS. If you don't have EMS, we suggest you to try it. We have a 90-day free trial. It's easy to install. It's easy to get started with. So I strongly suggest to try the solution. And if you have it already, we have a program called Fast Track. Thank you so much for your time and for your interest. If you have any questions, please visit us at the booth. We were really lucky to have you here. Thank you so much for your attention. And I hope you have a great Ignite.